What feels legal, but is actually illegal and will possibly get you arrested? We used to leave things in mailboxes, like the neighbor's husband passed, so mom left a card in her mailbox, or a small gift to cheer up a friend, things like that. Yep, federal crime. The USPS apparently literally owns the inside of mailboxes. If it isn't postage paid, handled by USPS, it's illegal to be placed in a mailbox. I hand-delivered birthday invites and Christmas cards every year as a kid. Who knew? Childhood me was a rampant mail felon. In France, burying your dead pets in your garden risks of infecting the water table. I think that's illegal almost everywhere, if you look at the laws. Where I live, you can't bury your pet within 1/2 mile of a dwelling or 1/4 mile of a stream, so that leaves almost nobody who could bury a pet on their property. Good thing there's no such things as wild animals living and dying everywhere every day. Driving with a blood alcohol content below the so-called legal limit can still be illegal. If you have any intoxicant in your system, even alcohol, and the police can show you are acting like you're intoxicated, you will be convicted of DUI, OWI, DWI. This needs to be better known. Happened to a friend who made an illegal left turn. The funny thing was found not guilty at court and didn't even get a ticket for the left turn, but did have to spend thousands of dollars on defense. Leaving a party after having too many drinks and deciding to sleep it off in your car for the night instead of taking the risk of driving home drunk and killing someone. Since sleeping it off in your car can get you busted for drunk driving in a lot of places, some folks roll the dice and try to make it home so they don't get arrested for drunk driving while sleeping in their car. Had a friend get busted for this. She got in her car, pulled into the street, immediately realized she was entirely too drunk, pulled into the parking lot across the street from the bar, locked up the car and went to sleep. Got woken up by the cops and issued a DUI ticket because her keys were in the ignition. Thankfully, she got a cool judge who said, "No, you did the almost right thing," dismissed. But it damn near fucked up her life and caused her a lot of trouble, all because she decided not to drink and drive. Had a friend do much the same. Left a bar, but soon pulled off the highway on a cold night. He had the presence of mind to hide the keys, climbed into the back seat, and called me to come get him. Problem was, he wasn't much help describing where he actually was parked. There's an exit sign and some trees. While I was talking to him, some cops arrived. He put the phone down but didn't hang up. He told them that the actual driver had left with the keys and stranded him. Asked if he could sit in their car and get warm as he was just freezing. I listened to them try to wheedle him into getting behind the wheel for a second. Then they'd let him warm up. When he absolutely refused, the cops drove away in disgust. I eventually found him, but never forgot what those cops tried to do. I know drunk driving is a serious business, but the guy was going through a divorce and eventually tried to do the right thing. This turned out to be the incident that turned his life around. He stopped drinking, eventually got remarried, still calling this a win. Finders Keepers has another name, theft of mislaid property. I browse recent criminal cases sometimes and see it fairly frequently. Isn't this only a thing if the owner can be fairly easily identified? Like, if you find a wallet and it has an ID, you could be charged for taking the money. But if you find a random $100 bill on the ground, you can't. The correct action, which the legal system intends you to take, is to take any lost property to a local police station. They will hold on to it for a period of time, and if nobody claims it, you are given the option to keep it. Adultery is rarely prosecuted, but is a crime in a handful of states. Definitely a crime in the U.S. military. It makes sense in the service, though. It's hard to maintain unit cohesion if the men are fucking each other's wives. A Danish woman was arrested in New York for leaving a kid in a pram outside a cafe. That is perfectly normal in Denmark, but apparently not in USA. I remembered that. I was shocked no one stole the stroller. It was on St. Mark's and 2nd Avenue. Not terribly dangerous, but I wouldn't leave an unlocked bike there, or anywhere. She was sitting next to a bugged glass window, and the stroller was right next to the window. Charges were dropped. Spreading a deceased's ashes on public lands can be illegal in some states. That's why I stick only spreading them on private land, like the Haunted Mansion. Being in possession of an ego feather is illegal, unless you are exempt like Native Americans. Even then, they have to apply to receive it. It can't just be taken from the ground out in the wild. This extends to the feathers or other parts of any native birds in the USA. As per the Migratory Bird Treaty Act, the goal is to prevent poaching of native wildlife, but it certainly feels weird that you could technically be arrested or fined for possessing mourning dove feathers. Doing nothing, like loitering. I have never seen anything like a no loitering sign anywhere in Estonia or in any European country I've been to. Such a random thing. Are they really a thing in the US? Or is it more like a overblown thing on the internet? I mean, private property, yeah, a regular thing, but just no loitering at a place where it's completely legal to be at. WTF, such as a street, or WE, no standing? California here. There are no loitering signs everywhere on private property. Gas stations, businesses, fast food restaurants. Some restaurants have a sign posted saying you have to consume your food within 30 minutes, then GTFO. In theory, it's because people who loiter are up to no good, teenagers, homeless people, etc. It isn't always enforced, but I got in trouble for it a few times as a teenager. Picking wildflowers on the side of the road, at least in Texas. Those flowers don't belong to you. They don't even belong to Mother Nature. FYI, the state of Texas does spread wildflower seeds along state highways. It's actually a form of roadside nature conservation and beautification project started by Lady Bird Johnson, the wife of LBJ. They're used as miniature nature preserves, essentially for native wildlife and pollinators, so it makes sense on why it's illegal to pluck the flowers. Keeping prescription meds in a container that's not the original, like you can't put 1 or 2 in a little pill keeper on your keychain because it's not in their original bottle. I get the reasoning, but it's also dumb. Do you have more information on where this is illegal? I can think of like 10 plus elderly relatives, friends, that have those weekly, monthly pill organizers. If those are illegal to use for prescription meds, it's weird that they'd sell them in pharmacies right next to the prescription counter. Collecting rainwater in some places. When I first heard about that, I had to look it up, thinking it's just another case of big government stepping on the little guy. But it's actually to protect us from mega farms and Coca-Cola creating mass rain catchers and harvesting all the rain before it can enter the aquifer. Feeding an expired parking meter for a car that is not yours. I found out this was illegal one day when I was leaving a restaurant and saw this car was expired and the ticketing cop was coming along a few cars down checking the meters. I put in a few quarters. The meter cop saw me and yelled at me, told me it was a misdemeanor, and said I was being charged, and it turned into a foot chase. One of the only times I've ever been grateful that they didn't have their body cam on, because I got away and never heard anything about it again. Turning on the interior light in my dad's car when he is driving at night. This is not true, and my mom paid a very hefty price for this lie. When I was like 17, my interior light would not turn off for some reason to come home, so I made her drive 2 hours to come get me in the middle of the night and almost have my car towed before she realized. She caused this by lying to an autistic kid. Sodomy in sheriff states, archaic and unenforceable, but strangely still on the books. No one wants to champion a legalized butt sex campaign in a red state. Thanks for watching. And what else seems legal but is actually illegal and can lead to arrest? Write in the comments. Bye.